Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Kay, and for today's swatch sesh, I'm featuring Zombie Claw's full Slay Ahead collection, which they sent over to me as PR. Thank you so much to Zombie Claw for that. This full Slay Ahead set includes 7 nail polishes, all inspired by Christmas, as you can imagine. So we are going to take a look at each and every one of those. Then we'll regroup. I'm just gonna leave that in for my final thoughts. I also have some information about Zombie Claw's Black Friday sale for those of you who are interested, so make sure to stick around. But for now, let's get into the sesh. We kick off the sesh with Resting Grinch Face. What we have here is a pine green colored base filled with linear hollow, which I'm sure you're already seeing, but I will show it off in better lighting real soon. Now remember that very first brush stroke that I laid down on the first coat and the amount of coverage that I got? So it was quite fair, right? But I always recommend at least a second coat, which I am on at this point, and I decided that it wasn't necessary to pack my brush with as much polish considering the nice coverage that I already got on that first coat. So here's my end result. Now, even though I'm not under strong direct lighting, you can still tell that what we're dealing with is a linear hollow formula. However, it is under that strong lighting that you'll fully see the Resting Grinch Face in all its glory, with those rainbow pops becoming pretty vibrant and sparkly no matter which way you move the nail around, and that pine green color is just ideal for the holidays. Next up, we have this amazing silver hollow concoction, and as a heads up, I am aiming for 3 coats here to get that full coverage. So this polish actually has a sheer white base, but you wouldn't know that at all since those hollow elements are dominating the nail, those elements being linear hollow, hollow flakes, and hollow glitters, which might lead you to be curious about texture here, but surprisingly, this one is really smooth. The top coat will definitely suffice here. You don't even need glitter grabber. That's how smooth this is. Zombie Claw did a great job with formulating something so glittery yet also so smooth. So take a look at my end result. This is so neat. I adore seeing the mix of multiple hollow elements together in a polish. It just makes the polish way more fun, but it is really under strong direct lighting that you get to see Frosted Halo's final form, with those rainbows taking over the nail alongside that little twinkle and the sparkle coming from those flakes and glitters. Also, as beautiful as this is here, you can also just use this polish as a topper over lighter colors. The first coat is sheer enough to where you could definitely pull that off. Moving on to our next full Slay Ahead polish, here we have Spiced Cider, which starts off with a sienna orange base that was seasoned with shimmer that shifts between gold and green tones. Notice the first coat coverage before I move on. It laid down super even. This formula self-levels nicely and the opacity is quite fair, but this second coat will really help to perfect the final look. I think this base is somewhat jelly-like, which would make sense because those shimmers are quite visible all the way through as I move my nail around. Also, the seasonally appropriate fam is likely going to be considering this one for fall too, because it does have that autumnal earthy orange vibe. Starting from the ground up, what we have here is a mocha base seasoned with flakies that shift between bronze, red, orange, and yellow tones. We have black flakies and also a shimmer that appears very pinky in this formula, which I'll show off soon. Now, most of you know that I'm not fond of browns, but when they're formulated like this, they do tempt me because it just looks so fun and interesting with all these components. Notice how those flakies shift into more yellow tones as I angle my nail down a bit further away from my light, and how that pink shimmer comes alive under strong direct lighting, which makes this brown look so pretty. And I never even thought I would say that, but that is the magic of pink. Next is Candlelight Kiss, and what we have here is quite simple but perfect for the season. This is a dark burgundy creme, and with its base completely exposed to the world, as a creme, there's no hiding behind elements here, which just allows for that color, viscosity, opacity, and the self-leveling power to shine through, which I think performed great in this formula. So here we have my end result after 2 coats. Look at how perfectly even and smooth that is. I don't even have a top coat here, folks. I think these dark burgundies give off such a sophisticated, elegant vibe, but as calm and refined as she is, I think this is still an excellent color for the holiday festivities. I have no doubt that we are, in fact, on Santa's nice list this year because I just unboxed a nail seasoning, a holiday nail seasoning, which I am so excited for. So here we have red glitters in various sizes and finishes. They do seem to be metallic, but I'm noticing that the larger ones have a rainbow finish to them. We also get silver reflective elements, which adds the perfect final touch. But did you see how I just brushed this on? No dabbing, zero placement, zero moving glitters around. They really did disperse without fault. Now, when I turn on the direct light, you get those pops of rainbow color and the awakening of those silver reflective elements. You can certainly expect to use this one as a topper. It's gonna work great for that. Last under the Christmas tree is Sleighn in Silence, and starting from the ground up, we have a base in a sapphire blue color fed with shimmers that shift between orange, red, and green colors, but we also get a hint of scattered hollow, which I'll show off soon because it is not visible at all under these lighting conditions. Now, as I swatch this, I can't help but be reminded of a cold and dark winter night, and I wonder if that played a part in the inspiration of this polish. We're definitely calming down with this one. Those shimmers are playing very nicely with that blue base. It really does support their pop factor, and you can see how they shift into greens and oranges at angles and more indirect type of lighting. Now, if I move under strong direct lighting, then you can see how those hollows become a little more visible. They're definitely not the main character, but we got a tiny bit of something there. And with all the presents opened and swatched, let's go over the deets. And that was the full Slay Ahead collection. So let's chit chat a little bit about what we got here. We have 7 polishes that I think individually capture different aspects of Christmas in their own way, right? This wasn't a collection that focused solely on like the joy or the celebratory aspect of Christmas. We definitely got some moodiness here, like with Sleighn in Silence, also Candlelight Kiss, and even with Hot Cocoa Hangover. However, we did get that joy and festive vibe, especially with Fireside Mood and also with Frosted Halo. But Zombie Claw went beyond that because we also got some traditional vibes here, especially with Resting Grinch Face and also with Spice Cider. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I think this was a really well-rounded type of collection. Now, about their Black Friday sale, I do want to give you the details on that. That will take place on November 21st, and you're going to get 25% off of everything, including the full Slay Ahead collection. Customs and advent calendar overpours are not going to be included in this sale, and you don't need a code, but you can stack other codes that you may have, like maybe swatcher codes if you have any. You can stack that on top of this 25% sale. I really appreciate you for hanging out and just checking out the full Slay Ahead collection with me. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.